Christianity is the worst fucking drug ever. Yeah. I know some of y'all probably saying to yourself, oh shit, he back at it again. Talking about Christianity. Yep, it is. It is what it is. Most people don't want to admit it, but you can't run from it. You can't. You can't do it. You know. One thing I can say about the truth, the truth does not need defending. Hold on. Yep. One thing I can say, you better believe it. The truth does not need defending. It automatically defends itself. Yep. Christianity is the worst fucking drug ever. I thought I used to look years ago when I was a part of the church in so-called Christian religion. I used to, in my mind, because when you're in the Christian church, it's like you're in a dream. Your mind be in a dream. You be drunk. And being a part of Christianity, that if anybody, any child, if you're part of Christianity, I feel sorry for you. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm just um I used to would like say that I wouldn't trust a drug addict. Well, I think I would rather, in my opinion, I would want to be around either one of them. Both of them can be dangerous, but a drug addict, it seems like they can relate to you more better than the Christian church. You can sit down and hold a conversation with a lot of the people. Now, some of the drug addicts are the people on the streets. It's not, if you're not on their type of energy, by me being, know what it feels like to be a man of color, if you ain't on their type of energy, they not gonna want to have nothing to do with you. But I will say this much. with their own kind, they can relate to their situations when they have a problem or something like that. They can bring their problems to each other, and they will understand and empathize with each other a little bit better than the people in the Christian church. The people in the Christian church, you can't even go to the pastor. That's why I'm so glad I removed myself from Christianity. I did that in 2014, and I'm glad I did. And I feel, not feel, but I am more. It's like I have a better sense of relief. I have. It's like a burden is lifted off your shoulders. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody is they. It's worse than crack. It's just worse than crack. You don't want to be a part of that. That is one of the main things that is fucking our people up. You don't want to be a part of Christianity. Mm-mm. You don't want to be a part of Christianity. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Christianity, it does more worse, probably at its worst, damage to people than drugs itself. Because one thing about a drug, I think you can recover from drugs a little faster, although drug is a hard addiction. But if you get hooked on Christianity, try talking and telling those people that that Christianity is poison. It's like talking to the fucking wall. Talking to people and telling them you from the tribe of Judah, according to the Bible. Show them that sign. You from the tribe of Benjamin, Levi. You from West Africa. You're a Benjamite. You're from the tribe of Benjamin in the Bible. Who is that? That's one of the sons of Jacob. That makes up Jacob's. The sons of Jacob. Jacob makes up the 12 tribes of Israel, the children of Israel, the biblical forefathers of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And you'd be like, oh, okay, they are the Hebrew. That's where the branch of the Hebrew Israelites came off that branch in the Bible. When you like somebody asks, who is Abraham? Abraham is a biblical patriarch that God called him is to be a branch and to represent a chosen people from that branch. And Abraham was going to have a son, Isaac, and Isaac birthed a son called Jacob. And Jacob is the one that's the name before it became Israelite. It was Jacob. So once that angel was wrestling with the Most High God, then God took and changed that name. And that's how the nation of Israel got that name. The name Israel means powerful, chosen, more powerful. What does the name Israel means?
personal name Yisrael, fighter of God.
Who is Abraham? Who is Abraham?
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. Abraham is the common patriarch of the Abrahamic religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Abraham is called by God to leave the house of his father Terah and settle in the land originally given to Canaan, but which God now promises to Abraham and his progeny.
Progeny. Okay, progeny. Abraham is the common patriarch of the Abrahamic. They talk about religion because God never gave religion. Abraham, including Judaism, and then they talk about Christianity and Islam, and that's not even Islam is a made up thing. Abraham is called by God to lead the house of his father Terah and settle in the land or originally given to the Canaan, but which God now promises to Abraham in his print. I said that word earlier, but I forgot what that word was. You know what I'm saying? But first of all, God never dealt with religion. Abraham didn't even have religion. During the time of Abraham, there wasn't no religion. When God told Abraham God told him to do something, right? And I'm just trying to show you that Christianity is the worst fucking drug ever. Look at this here. Y'all remember the story about Abraham? God had asked him to do something. He told him to sacrifice his son. Y'all remember that story, right? Genesis chapter 26 and verse 5. The Bible says, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, kept my charges, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. It didn't say religion. It said, because that Abraham obeyed my voice. What is the voice of God? And kept my charges. That's obeying him. That's the voice of God when you listen to what he's saying. And my commandments, because that Abraham obeyed my voice. That means he listened to what he hearkened. He listened. He wasn't hard-headed. He obeyed my voice and kept my charges, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Let's go to Matthew's 19 and verse 16. And this is the rich young ruler. He was a Jew. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing should I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. See, you hear in Genesis, God is telling his people to keep his commandments from Genesis, and it's in Matthew's, and it goes all the way to Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 14, where it said, Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have that from the beginning of the book of the Bible to the end of the Bible. God is telling his people is to keep his commandment. Now, what I was trying to say was God never intended for his people to have he never gave his people religions. And I want to prove that with something simple. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25. It says, And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he had commanded us. It shall be our right. So righteousness, when people say, oh, I'm righteous, to be righteous means that you are keeping the commandments. He said, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, kept my commandments, my statutes, talking about his laws, his statutes and his laws. And then it says in Psalms 19 in verse 7. He said, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, maketh wise the simple. So when you're keeping the commandments, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. That's a commandment for the women. 22 verse 5. The Bible says the woman should not wear that which pertains unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God. Let's go and let's get another law. And these laws still stand today. Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7. Leviticus 11 and verse 7. The Bible says, and the swine, though he divideth the hoof and be clothed footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. He said they are unclean to you. All right, let me do something right quick. Okay. Okay, let me do something right quick. Copy. Hold on, let me do it again. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I put the link in the chat if anybody want to come in. All right. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 50, 65 and 15. 65, I think it's 65. I think I'm saying it right. Oops, I went over too far. Isaiah 65, 15. I think I'm saying it right. 60. Okay, let's Isaiah 65 and verse. This might be it here. Okay, here we go. Isaiah 65 and verse 4. It says, let's start at verse 3. A people that provoke me to anger continually to my face by telling God you're going to eat pork any damn way. A people that provoke me to anger continually. That means they constantly doing this shit. They shitting on me. They don't give a damn. They shitting on me to my face. I'm telling them what they should be doing. I love them and how I don't want them to be defiling their temple. A people that provoke me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in the gardens and breathes and burneth incense upon the altars of break, which remains amongst the graves, and lodge in the mountains, which eat swine's flesh, and brought and brought and be and brought us a vulnerable thing in and brought of a vulnerable thing in their vessels. Now, when it says which remains among the graves, that's talking about your mind. The graves mean that people are not is spiritually dead. When you eating pork and all that kind of shit, you is spiritually goddamn dead. When you eating pork. Now you got a lot of ministers that will try to find scriptures and they'll find anything. You couldn't, I guarantee you, now one of y'all so-called pastors or preachers, y'all can't beat me in no damn debate because you know what? If I stood before y'all right now, y'all would lose. You too, you know who I'm talking to, Mr. Pastor. If I stood before you right now, you will lose this debate. I promise you, you will. You will lose this debate. Because I will tell you, you could never, I don't care if you do go to the New Testament, pull out 2 Timothy, and then turn around, say it's not what goes into the mouth that defiles, but it's what comes out. That's not a justification for eating pork, Mr. Pastor. No. That's not a justification. All that knowledge and wisdom that y'all got. Mr. Pastor, you still teaching your congregation that you're going to be held more accountable for teaching your congregation eating pork is all right. I can beat every last one of y'all in a debate. If I could, y'all couldn't dispute a word I'm saying. And then they use Acts chapter 10 where Peter said, God called Peter, told Peter, rise, kill, and eat. God ain't telling Peter to go out and eat no damn, eat no unclean damn animals. If you read a little further in Acts 10 and 34, God was telling Peter that his Israelite brothers that were scattered, which was the northern kingdom, is the don't ill treat your brother in your faith. It's not talking about Esau. It's not talking about pork. It's talking about how the Israelites got scattered and they lost. God was only talking to the northern kingdom of Israel. Those Israelites who had strayed away from their true identity and went and lost their identity and went and worshiped the white man, the so-called white Esau's identity. They were lost. And God sent the apostle Paul and told Paul is to go to Spain and go to the in Spain is the northern kingdom, the Latinos and the natives of America. That's who that trip in the Bible refers to. Not no damn talking about telling you to eat pork. It's telling him, he said, I perceive when it says God is no respectful person. In every nation, him that fears God and work his righteousness is accepted with him. That's not talking about everybody. When it seems like it's talking about everybody, it's not talking about the Gentile. It's only talking about the lost tribe, the lost kingdom of Israel. The stocks amongst Abraham. He told him to go amongst the other nations. Let me show y'all in the Bible where it says, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go read the context. And I guarantee you, what I'm saying is going to prove to be right. And they go, and these ministers try to, and then our people buy into that shit. Acts chapter 10. Pastors don't read shit in context, but I know what I'm talking about. Acts chapter 10 and verse 34. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, of a truth, I perceive that God is no respecter of person, but in every nation, now people will use that part to say, see, everybody can be grafted in, including the Gentiles. No, but in every nation, he that fears him and work his righteousness is accepted with him. Okay, let's go to Acts chapter, let's get the context of what I just read, because a lot of people will take that to say, see that in every nation, he that worketh righteousness is accepted with him in every nation. That's talking about Israelites being scattered in every nation. That's not talking about the Gentile. That's talking about the Israelites who was calling themselves Gentiles. Let's go and let's see when it says, and I perceive that God is no respectful person. They talking about any of that they'll use stop right there and say everybody can worship God. Everybody. No. Let's go to Exodus. People don't be knowing what the hell they be talking about. Acts chapter 2 and verse 25. My bad, I was wrong. Exodus chapter 2 and verse 25. The Bible says, and God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. That's what that was going into. Exodus 3 and verse 7. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people. That's who it's talking about. My people. That's not talking about the whole world, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians. So if you're delivering somebody and saving somebody from a certain group of people, the Egyptians, these are the African people that enslaved the Israelites, the dark race, the Canaanites, the Nigerians, and to bring them up out of the land unto a land unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hittites and the Jebusites. Those are the Ethiopians. All these nations of people that I'm reading about, they had the Israelites in slavery, because if God came back here to save everybody, then why would he not say, I'm come up is to deliver everybody, all people from their way of thinking. You see what I'm saying? Look what it says. Let's read that again. Let's read it, verse 6. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. The Bible said he's only the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows, and I am come to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians. Now, if you coming to save somebody from a predator, how you going to save the predator in the victim? He didn't come down to deliver everybody. I don't know why people got that in their mind. And I don't even claim to be that educated in the Bible, but this is just common sense. I don't like using that word common sense, because common sense is not even in the Bible. My bad for saying that. Let me back up. I had to, I didn't intend to put that. That's not even true. But that's plain. That's plain and simple. It takes understanding to get this. A lot of people don't understand, so they can't get that. Why would they? It's like people, when they read stuff, they're not really hearing it, or they ignoring it. Look at this verse. Pay attention to this here. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people. He didn't say, I have seen the affliction of everybody. He said, my people. Just like if you have mail everybody has mail in this neighborhood, right? If I go and get somebody else's mail in these apartment in my neighborhood up in here, deliberately just open up their mail and claim it's mine. Guess what they gonna do? Somebody might call the police, press charges on me, and then I end up coming to court for taking they important mail. Now tell me I'm lying. It says, I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians. If you got a rapist, let's say a rapist, right? And you got the victim, which would be the one that was victimized by the rapist. And you coming to save the person, the victim, from getting touched anymore. Are you gonna save the person that's actually doing the crime to the victim, or the person that needs to be delivered from this person? Or are you gonna come and save both of them? That would make no fucking sense. That's why I say the Christian church, man, is a fuck. It's damaging to our people, because the Christian church is not going to take time and get the book. They read not the same Bible and break this down. You know why they ain't gonna do it? Because it's too much like right. Anything that looks too much like the right, anything that looks too much like right, they gonna do the opposite of it. Just like I went to Walmart this evening, right? I did. I went to Walmart, and I'm gonna come back tomorrow and break some more stuff down. They had, you notice how, I don't know if a lot of y'all noticed that. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are here today. A certain time of the day, when they go to get real late, at a certain time of the hours of the day, Walmart, they will close this side of the door. Now, a lot of us don't be filling up to just trying to go the long way. A lot of us try to go the shorter way to make it easy, which it makes sense. Everybody gonna try to take the easy way out, right? Just like the so-called white man. They gonna take the easy way out. If they feel like they can hold on to them riches that they got and don't want to give them up to the people that they victimized and took the stuff from, if they feel like they can get away with what their forefathers did, rape, rob, murder, and killing our people, taking our wealth and what their ancestors done, they don't give a damn about as long as they can benefit off of what belongs to us, they don't give a fuck. You think they'll give that up if they think they can get away with it? Of course they will. They will never come up and give you certain things. That's why a lot of our people, that's why you find a lot of our people begging and saying, oh, please, Mr. So-and-so, do yes, whatever, you know what I mean? They will not give that back. They wouldn't give you that back. If they know that they can get away with what their forefathers have done, and they spending the wealth owning these banks, the Jewish man, the white man, the Greek man, the Greek and the Chinese man, the Greek, the Greeks, the Romans, and all them. If they can keep all that, the Jewish man, the fake Jews can keep these banks and stuff, and they feel like they can get away with it, they'll do it. They wouldn't give us shit. They wouldn't give us our wealth back. They'll keep. You think they're gonna be honest enough to say, "Oh, we love y'all. We gonna give it up"? No. The Most High gonna have to. He said, "Through violence, we take it by force." He said, "The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and forever and forever." That's talking about this earthly kingdom. But anything that looks too much like right, the so-called white man is not going to do it. Think about it. Do you know it's a fucking curse to have to buy water? Now, we got water in our faucets in there in our kitchen, right? Now, to make that, would that make that shit easy if they say, well, this doesn't make no sense? Let us, what we can do is, since it's water in the faucet, it don't make no sense for us to be making these people buy their own water. So what we gonna do? We gonna stop selling water, make it easy for them instead of them having to go drive to the store to get water. We just gonna turn around and we gonna take it. We just gonna the water they got in their faucet. We just gonna purify it, and they'll get pure water, so they don't have to waste money just trying to buy water. They not really concerned about the elderly people. The white man is not really concerned about the elderly people. We think they are, but they are our enemy. Esau, the white man, is our enemy. I'm gonna prove that to you. People think with me reading the Bible like I'm doing, this is our people ain't gonna listen to this here. But you know why? Because it's too much like right. Too much anything. That's why I say it. Anything that looks too much like right, they don't give a fuck about that. The so-called white men definitely don't give a fuck about this. That's how come they can do the shit that they doing. Take your shit and make you pay for it. Want to charge you $200 damn just to fix a fucking iPad? Like what the fuck? When they said that, I walked up out there. I looked at them like it was like I looked at their ass fucking stupid. Look at the all right. Let's look. Let's Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. They're not going to have no compassion upon none of our people. They're not going to look back and say, well, instead of the black old, the people of color that are very old, we know that's hard. And a lot of them, a lot of them can't get out and get water and stuff like that. So what we gonna do? We don't want them elderly people is to die off like that for not having the water. We just gonna cut the water supplies on and let fresh spring running water run through their faucets and stuff. So that way they don't have to come and be buying them, because this shit is stupid. We have no business selling water. That's stupid. You see what I'm saying? But the reason I brought that up is to say this here. The reason why they ain't gonna do it is because it's too much like right. Remember, like I said, anything that looks too much like right, and anything that looks too much like the right thing and it's more better and easy for you, they gonna flip it and do the opposite and make it harder for you. Only your enemy will do something like that. Look what the Bible says in Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships. So in order for him to say, and the Lord shall bring you in us, our ancestors, into Egypt again, the second time, obviously, this was a second time. The first time, it had to be, they had to have been in here more than one time. Our people was in slavery. Our forefathers went into slavery because they didn't listen and obey the commandments of God. And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again, Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I have spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. That means we'll never see our homeland again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. That means slave man and slave woman, and no man shall buy you. Nobody can redeem us out of this captivity, out of this slavery. So it says, you will be sold to your enemies. So when you look at the water supply, the only person that can bleach your damn water, poison your damn water to where you got to go and buy fresh water at the bottom. Your enemy is the definition of a person who does that. Think about that. What is the definition of an enemy? The enemy means somebody who hates you, right? An enemy does not necessarily mean somebody who loves you. An enemy is somebody that is the opposite of love. So if you truly love somebody and if you really is a friend, it didn't say you'll be sold to your friends because number one, your friend is not going to put you in a condition to where make things hard for you. The white man is our enemy. Let me say that again. The so-called white man, and he's not white, he's red. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. I think I'm saying it right. Ecclesiastes chapter 6, I had it right, and verse 13. Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends. Listen to your friend. Your enemy is going to do the opposite of friend is enemy. The opposite of love is hate, right? So an enemy is somebody, if they hate you, do you think a person that hates you gonna have your best interest at heart? If I'm your enemy, do you think I'm gonna have your best interest at heart? The answer is simple, no. If I hate you, I'm gonna do the opposite of love. If I love you, I'm gonna do the opposite of hate. If I love you, I'm going to warn you and tell you not to. You think a real friend would poison your water? I want y'all to know everything that I'm saying is in the Bible. Let's go to it. Revelation chapter 8 and verse. Let's start at verse 7. Revelation 8 and verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. This was going into slavery, how a lot of the Christians was put in slavery, a lot of them was killed. And they were cast into the earth. And the third parts of their trees was burned up. That's talking about people. And all green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, and as it was a great mountain burning with fire, was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. That means a lot of the slaves was jumping off the ships. You see what I'm saying? A lot of them was fed to sharks. That's why I said, and the second angel sounded as it were a great mountain and burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. That's going into how they fed our people to alligators and sharks and stuff like that. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and that had life died. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. That means a lot of the people on the slave ships, a lot of them died before they got over to across, I think, let's go, let's look it up. Oops, I took the whole thing off. Our people came over here on cargo slave ships.
According to Wikipedia, slave ships were large cargo ships specially built or converted from the 17th to the 19th century for transporting slaves. Such ships were also known as Guineamen because the trade involved human trafficking to and from the Guinea coast in West Africa.
That's right. That's right. It was the white lion which duped in Virginia colonies pointed the comfort and trading some of the prisoners for food on August the. Okay, this was first enslaved African arrived in Jamaica in Jamestown colony history. Okay, this is what this is going into. On August the 20th, 1619, 20 and odd Antigona, move, stop, and and kidnapped by. Oh man, this thing is tripping, bro. Hold on, it's a lot of stuff popping on the screen. I don't know why this thing. It says, and the Portuguese arrived in the British colony of Virginia and are then brought by English colonists. The arrival of the enslaving Africans in the New World marks a beginning of a 2.5 centuries slavery in North America. Okay, founded at Jamestown in 1607, the Virginia colony was home to about 7,000 people by 1619. The first enslaved Africans to arrive in the Virginia disembarking at a point of comfort in what is today known as for Morin, worst of their names as well as the exact name who remain at Point Comfort but have been lost to history, but much is known about their journey. Okay, this is all going into talking about the the Nago kingdom on a forced march to the part of the capital of modern day Angel. From there they were ordained on the ships San Jan. Okay, um, some of the words were real hard, but it said, and the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were lamps, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. Okay? And the name of the star is called wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Don't that sound like poison water? That's why we have to go and buy water, because the so-called white man done fucked up the damn water. Now, don't take my video down. Don't mess with my video, because y'all know this is the truth. I love my people. I don't hate my people. The blacks, Hispanics, Native American. I'm not being violent for calling this out. This is true. This is real. Revelation 8 and verse 11. I'm going to read it again. And the name of the star is called wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Don't that sound like the GMOs and stuff? Now you go and you try to buy a big chicken, and buy a chicken. You're right, big as it or whatever. The chickens now as big as the turkeys. They shooting everything up. They put a lot of what they call GMOs in the food and stuff. That's why it says, and the name of the star is called wormwood. That's verse 11 of Revelation 8 and 11. And the name of the star is called wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. You go and you buy grapes. They got grapes and stuff in the store now. It's got seedless grapes. I don't even buy them. You know what I'm saying? It's like they messing up everything. They tamper with everything. And when that's what your enemy would do. Our enemy would do this. Stalking you in the store to see if you're gonna steal something. I stopped going in a store called Amazon because the motherfuckers just you can't shop in that in there in peace. without them standing over you. You being a target. They just want to target you because you the opposite. You look the opposite of them. You're a man of color. I'm not black. I don't call myself black. I just say I'm a man of color. You can't do nothing in peace for them. Everything. It's like everything they messing with it. Fucking fucking it up. They screwing up everything. Only your enemy would do that. But going back to my original question before I turned this camera on, when I turned it on, I mean, do you think your friend would pause in your water? Do you think your friend would wait till you go in the bathroom? While you going in the bathroom, then he turn around and look and see if anybody looking at you, and he hair up and stick something in your drink. Do you think a friend would do that? Do you think a friend would deliberately harm you like that? Or wait till you turn your back and put something in your drink so you can foam at the mouth and you can cough up blood and die and laugh at you and laugh in your face? Do you think a real, true friend, somebody that truly love and care about you would do that? I know this is hurting the Uncle Toms. A real friend ain't gonna do you no harm like that. Yeah, a real friend is not going to. He gonna have your best interest at heart. Now, if you hate somebody, look at Cain. Cain is the so-called white man is it has the spirit of Cain. They murder their brother every day, like George Floyd. They got the spirit of Cain. Yeah. Our people, man, they just love supporting Esau. I'm not gonna hold the video out, but I'm gonna read this again right here in the Apocrypha. It says in Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and 13. Hold on. It's chapter 6, right at the top. That's right. Ecclesiastes 6 and 13. Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends. Only a friend will warn you, not an enemy. An enemy not gonna blow a trumpet and warn you and tell you that you about to die. Please get out the way. They're gonna try to do something to help save you. Your friend will, or your friend will do that, but your enemy, he don't give a damn about you. Nothing does convey a faithful friend and his excellency invisible. A faithful friend is the medicine of life. Wow, that's what I just said. And I never read that before. A faithful friend is the medicine of life. Whoso fears the Lord shall direct his friendships aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbors be also. Whoso fears the Lord shall direct his friendships aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbors be also. My son, gather instructions from thy youth up. So shalt thou find wisdom. So shalt thou find wisdom until thy old age. I needed that. Let me read this again in Ecclesiastes 6. Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that has found such in one has found a treasure. Verse 15. Nothing does conveil a faithful friend, and his exceedingly excellency is invisible. 16. A faithful friend is the medicine of life. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. Whoso fears the Lord shall direct his friendships aright. So it says, a faithful friend is a strong defense, and that he that has found such and one has found a treasure. Let's read verse 16 again. A faithful friend is the medicine of life. That's a faithful friend. A faithful friend, a faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. That's right. My son, gather instructions from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom until thy old age. My son, gather instructions from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom until thy old age. It says, gather instructions while you're young, and so my son, gather instructions from thy youth up, so shall thou find wisdom until thy old age. It says you're gonna find wisdom until your old age. Let's read Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and 1. Let's see what that's talking about. Instead of a friend, become not an enemy. That's powerful. Instead of a friend, become not an enemy. For thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name, shame, and reproach. Even so shall a sinner that has a double tongue extol not thyself in the counsel of thy own heart, that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bill of rays alone. Thou shalt eat up thy leaves and loose thy fruit, and leave thyself as a dry tree. A wicked soul shall destroy him that has it, and shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies. That's right. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 12:1, when thou wilt do good, know to whom thou does it, so shalt thou be thinking for thy benefits. Do good to thy do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. Verse 4, give to the godly man and help not a sinner. It said give to the godly man and don't help a sinner. You ain't supposed to take and be giving your goods to somebody who ain't got your best interest at heart. That's like taking all your money and giving it to some woman who don't find you attractive. Why would you even date someone who does not find you attractive? That's a perfect example there. If somebody is not into you like that, then anybody with a good understanding is not going to turn around and still date the person. You wouldn't. No, you ain't gonna do it. Name me a person who would. If they got to be something, got to be wrong somewhere. You gonna want to invest your time and your money into somebody that you know that's into you. You don't want to invest something into somebody that you don't feel like that's into you like that. So do you think the Most High God gonna invest into us and we shitting all on him? No. I didn't think I was gonna do an hour, but that's where it took me, and I guess it is what it is. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna see y'all later, and y'all have a good day, a good night.